Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the hell it is, wherever you are, if you're watching and when you're watching this. Got a lot of people asking me, like personally, because I really don't have an online presence, but they're asking me why I'm a fan of Unsubscribe and why I'm so thoroughly enjoying what they're doing to Buffalo Public Schools and certain media in New York. So let's set the Wayback Machine to sometime last year, doing random YouTube searches for entertainment because I get very bored very easily. I ran across this dude, The Fat Electrician. I became an instant fan. From there, found like a couple of different groups he interacted with, a couple of different individual casters like HLC. Very funny way to get a little bit of information. And I ran across Unsubscribe. Now, with my political leanings, people who know me wonder how in the hell I could sit there and watch Unsubscribe. And yeah, my politics have nothing to do with why I will support Unsubscribe and why I find them amusing. Some of my life experiences, some of the friends and family I have, some of my personal beliefs that don't really fit well with any of the parties in the country I live in. Good old US of A. Yeah, that's why I like Unsubscribe. I love the dark humor. I love all the information they bring up. I love the binder. Oh, God, I love the binder of doom. Jesus, I love the binder of doom. But one of the things I support is, not abusing kids. Yeah. Another thing I support, responsible gun ownership. Another thing I support, basic safety of kids. So here are these guys. Yes, they talk a lot about guns. They talk a lot about military stuff. They talk a lot about, a lot of things. They also talk a lot about how and why they became famous. And you know what? It's their damn podcast. If they want to take 2 hours to discuss different shades of blue in the military and how, it's their podcast. If people want to learn about what they have to say, hey, it's on YouTube. Or for that $9 paywall, it's on their own platform, Pepperbox, which I am so close to pulling the trigger just for a month or two to see what it's like without all the stupid censorship they have to put up with on YouTube, okay? Some of the workarounds they have to drop in to work to discuss some real heavy topics, okay? And some of the specific things they have to edit and censor is ridiculous in my opinion. But hey, I'm not the one who owns YouTube. I'm just saying hi through it. Hello. But yeah, so like last month, and the way the story evolves, it just, God, it makes me happy that I like these guys. But last month, one of the regular contributors just had to get something off his chest after 2 podcast recordings. So these guys have just kind of been, doing their shtick, doing their thing. 2 hours per podcast, I think, is like the before they cut, clip, cut, edit, all that. So these guys have just been chilling around drinking for like 4 hours maybe by the time this one guy, Angry Cops, Richard High, who is a Special Victims Unit investigator for Buffalo, New York, he had to get something off his chest. And yeah, he went for about half an hour about how Buffalo schools was failing the safety of their students. And, well, that pissed me off. It did. And the blowback they got for that prompted a follow-up podcast, because the local media out there was more interested in the fact that the 4 guys sitting there had between them maybe 30 White Claws. Because, they've been hanging out and drinking for 4 hours on their platform. They were more worried about these dudes, gun-owning guys, belching and drinking than, this person working for a school did not immediately go to the cops when there was video evidence presented that they were being physically abused by their father. They were more worried about, this guy, Richard High, once called somebody he was chasing in an armed robbery chase, called him Fat Boy. They were more worried that he called the guy Fat Boy than, hey, this guy broke into this one guy broke into a public school, tried to kidnap 2 kids, and was only being charged with a misdemeanor child endangerment. Yeah, they were more worried about the guy who was a Special Victims Unit investigator. They were more worried about, this guy is saying some things. They're more worried about his past than, hey, an entire school district is messed up and the kids aren't safe. They're not doing their job keeping the kids safe. It was more advantageous to the media to make fun of Rich than it was to do their jobs looking into what the job of the media is, to make you want to keep watching the media, reading the media. So the sensationalism is there. Which is more sensational? This cop called somebody a fat boy. Or, this entire school district is almost actively making your children unsafe. Which do you think would get them more money? Which do you think would get them more followers and viewers? I mean, hell, maybe I'm wrong, because apparently they think so, going after the cop. And I could go on for days about that. Yes, there are dirty cops. Yes, there are bad cops. But even a broken clock's right twice a day. I mean, Jesus. But that's, another thing for another day. So they had with Rich being lambasted in the local media, they did their 2nd episode. And Nick brought out the folder of doom. I'm jokingly referring to that binder as Unsubscribe's Great Book of Grudges, because I'm a Warhammer fan, and just seeing Nick pull that book up makes me think of the Dwarven Grudge Bearer piece. If you look at it, you look into the history of it, you'll see what I mean, and I'm going to have that image in my head till the day I die. Just, today we're going to talk about... And because they still had so much stuff, they did like a good hour-plus podcast, okay? And they're giving money over to something to help the kids get the legal or mental help they need. I don't know all the details. It was right there on the on one of the follow-up podcasts, like a little blurb from Eli. Eli, wonderful guy. One of their reactors, girl by the name of Courtney on Courtney Reacts, when she was doing one of her reactions, her payment for the day was going to go towards another group out there in Buffalo to help make the kids safer. But there was so much stuff that they're on their third podcast and they let it all out. I mean, you really have to give them credit that they are these just podcasters are doing a better job reporting on the situation than the actual media. And one of the guys in Subscribe put it best: I never want to be the subject of a fat electrician investigation. This guy was pulling up stuff like a district attorney I think it was a district attorney, a former district attorney, who had a DUI in the 80s that went all the way to a cop being injured, and daddy argued it down to a misdemeanor. Okay? I really can't do the episodes justice. You have to watch them. And not only am I saying you have to watch them to see what they uncovered, I'm going to say you have to watch them because almost everybody I know who's gone through public school has a story about a teacher or an administrator or just somebody who wasn't doing their job in that school, or not doing the job of reporting like they're supposed to in that school, or the administration having it out for a teacher who was standing up for kids being safe and the school was failing them. We all have stories about administration failing. And the only way that administration can get called and held to task and made to do their friggin' job is if we make those stories come out. And these guys just did it for Buffalo Public Schools. What's the next school to come out? If we make the media aware that we want to know why and how our kids are being failed by the people who were supposed to be protecting them and ensuring a safe learning environment, the only way we can fix these problems is if they get aired. And the only way the media is going to air them is if we show that we care. I don't even have kids, and I care. Because I don't have kids, they all my kids. Show that you care. Watch the videos. Make the numbers happen. Share your stories. You have a good day now.